Gill, website's Boston Sports Then and Now. Our event called Boston Sports Blogapalooza, and we're at the Baseball Tavern here near Fenway Park on November 6th. I was laid off from my job at July 2009, and I was approached by one of our partners to write for his website, Boston Sports Then and Now, and I took him up on the offer. Really enjoyed blogging and writing about all the Boston sports teams, and kind of ran with it. Before you know it, he let me manage the site. I recruited a good bunch of writers, and then started getting really entrenched in the blogosphere, if you will, in social media. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Started talking about the website. Website gets over 1,200 hits a day, about 500, 600 unique users, so it's doing pretty well for a little bit over a year. So out of that, all these people had the same, likes. They all like the same sports teams, like to talk about sports. So I'm like, why don't we get everybody together rather than just doing it in cyberspace? So that's what came up with Boston Sports Blogapalooza. We did an event back in May, same location here. Had about 80 people. Had a lot of great sponsors for that event, and it took off so much that we decided to do another one, which is today, Boston Sports Blogapalooza 2. We have a bunch of great sponsors, Comcast Sportsnet New England, Bud Light, the Baseball Tavern, of course, Bottom Line Apparel, Bloomberg Sports. We got over 150 people. We have Boston Media. We also have some of the predominant bloggers in New England. We have people come from Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, not just the Bay State. So it's a pretty awesome experience. I'm looking forward to it. So basically, Dean Hibble, who started the Boston Sports Then and Now, as well as a family of sites. There's a Maine site, Sports Then and Now. There's a Baltimore and Chicago site. So he wanted to not only talk about the current events, but he also wanted to go back into Boston's rich sports history. So that's kind of the angle we're taking. I have a bunch of writers in their 20s that talk about more of the current things going on with the teams, and I like to look back at the history. Being in my late 30s, I've seen a lot of the good and the bad, and luckily the last 10 to 15 years, most of the good. David Merman Scott, I took a course with him in my last job, and I got hooked. I started reading his books. I read a book by the creators of HubSpot, so I really got hooked into it, and I used a lot of those techniques, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, to really get my strategy out there, my content, because as we know, it's all about rich content. You have content that people want to read, or then it goes viral on the Facebooks and on Twitter and things like that. So I call it, the event today is like Boston sports and social media collide. So that's what I'm trying to do. This is not as only about talking sports, but talking about social media practices. So how to use Facebook? We have a Facebook fan page, which we have over about 550 fans right now, and we started in July of 2009. I have about 725 followers on Twitter right now, and we also use LinkedIn as well as one of the mediums to get the word across. And like what I like to use on Twitter, I just don't use it as a medium just to talk about content. I like to engage the other people out there in conversations about the Bruins or the Patriots and stuff like that, because what I learned is they don't want someone that just spouts out content constantly. They want interaction too. So I think it's a perfect medium if you interact with the people on there as well as give them rich content. Our site's a niche, as I mentioned, because we talk about the historical background of the city and the sports teams. So that's something people are going to read all year, right? So, when the Red Sox are just going on, we might talk about the historical events of the Bruins, what they've done in their playoff past for the Patriots and the Celtics when they're not playing, right? And then it flip-flops in the winter months. So if the Sox aren't playing like right now, we talk about the 75 World Series or talk about Yaz or things like that. And what's great is it goes across demographics, not just the 30-year-old, 20 to 30-year-old bracket or what have you. People in their 50s and 60s. We just had a writer come on in his 60s. So it's good to get, the different aspects from all the different fans, people that are, were followers of the team before I was born. Yeah, so what's going on today from 12 to 2, it's kind of more of a networking session. Everybody getting to meet up again that they met up 6 months ago. Then at Comcast Sportsnet New England, as I mentioned, is a title sponsor, so we're going to be doing panel discussions starting at 2 o'clock on the Bruins, Celtics, the Red Sox, the Patriots, and also we're doing a social media panel, which I think is great. I'll touch upon that one. So myself, Casey Mosca from Kevin Youkilis Hits for Kids, Kip Bodar from HubSpot, as well as I believe Jason Levine from Comcast Sportsnet New England is going to talk about how social media helps get their content across to their customers, users, donators, what have you. And that is going to be our last panel of the day. We do a silent auction as well as a raffle to support Kevin Youkilis Hits for Kids. So half the proceeds are going to them. We also have the event t-shirts, as you can see here, with all the sponsors on the back. A portion of those proceeds are also going to go to the charity. And then at 5 o'clock, we have an after party with Brian Richard and the Hoochies, two bands, local bands and friends of mine. They're going to be playing. And it's just going to be a great way to cap off a great day.